How do you present a project proposal? In other words, I want to explain to you how to really 10x, 15x your approval rates if you are working on a project. It doesn't matter how complex or how quote unquote easy the project is. You want to have the right proposal to make sure that you are talking to the right stakeholders. Okay. So here are the trends I want you to really pay attention to. The thing is that when you think about a project proposal, I want you to think about the foundation of everything. This is the initial step towards starting any project. Doesn't matter, okay, at the state level, at the like in public or in private. So every manager or executive, for instance, has to write a project proposal at some point. So every project proposal is planned and outlined strategically because you want to really win approval. You want to win buy-in from key stakeholders. Okay. So presenting your ideas will be really important for you if you want to really gain credibility, if you want to gain approval, whether those that approval is internal or external. Okay. So what is a project proposal presentation? Well, this is a project management tool for outlining the goals and specifications of your project. So the primary goal of the proposal here is to win over decision makers, not only in the hierarchy but also outside of the organization. Let's say clients, you have clients in multiple states, you have clients in the same states, you have clients internationally. You want to win over decision makers, or maybe even venture VC firms. I mean, if you are a startup. Now, I want to talk to you about the different types of project proposal presentations. The thing is that the project proposal that you have will be will have to be adapted to the specific niche you're in, right? So you have different types of project proposal depending on the niche you're in, but also depending on the purpose the project wants you want to achieve. So you have a solicited project proposal, you have unsolicited project proposal, you have informal project proposal, you have renewal project proposal, continuation project proposal, and you have supplemental project proposal. So those are the top 6 types of project proposal presentations that you might have to actually encounter in your, as you navigate the project process. Okay. Again, it doesn't matter if you have a small business or a large enterprise. You need to structure your thinking. You need to structure your presentation. You need to actually align your ideas with those of your decision makers, the key decision makers. So if you think about how to present a project proposal, let me give you a technique here. I want to really have a conversation with you about a technique. How do you write a project proposal step by step? Okay. So one thing for sure, first, you need to understand your audience and the problem you're solving. Is it a $1 million problem? A $1 billion problem? Is it a statewide problem? Is it a federal problem? Is it a private industry problem? You want to understand your audience. You want to understand the pain points of your audience. Okay. That's important because that's going to help you actually get the buy-in, the approval. So what issue is your project trying to solve? What's the pain point? What is known about the issue, this issue already? In other words, if you are trying to articulate your USP, your unique selling proposition, you got to first know what has already been done, right? Who has previously tackled this issue, and what literature is available on the subject? And why can't this problem be properly addressed by previous research? In other words, you got to really explain to your audience why your proposal, why your unique selling proposition is actually the best. So you need to understand your audience and the problem you are solving. And again, don't try to really kill them. Don't be too lengthy. You want to be brief. You want to go straight to the point, and you want to really articulate your storytelling in a structured manner. So number one, understand your audience and the problem you are solving. Next, I want you to really define clear objectives. And so it's one of those things where if you are seeking approval, if you are seeking funding, or if you want to gain support from internal stakeholders or outside stakeholders. You want to have well-defined goals, right? So you can really guide your content creation process and also focus on delivering a persuasive message. The whole thing is, see, the thing is, if you want to convince your audience, clarity is quite essential. Without clarity, you're going to confuse your audience. You're going to piss them off. Sometimes you might actually make them purposeless. You don't want that. So, a few things to mention in at this level: your project's mission statement, the timeline, the roles and duties of the project team, a risk register outlining your risk reduction strategy, deliverables for the project, tools for reporting that you will utilize during the project. Next, you want to structure your presentation. I mean, that's really important. If you want to present a project proposal properly, structuring becomes key. Structuring is going to help you save lots of money, save lots of time, and actually gain credibility real fast. Okay. So, in terms of structuring your presentation, you want to think about the outcome of your undertaking. You want to have a schedule for the project's deliverables, readiness. In other words, if you don't have a timeline, you can't really paint the right picture for your audience. So that's why you need to have a schedule. You got to have smart objectives in line with the outputs you are generating. Smart objectives. Smart here, I'm speaking about specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Okay, it has to be really clear, especially if you want to really convince your audience that your proposal is actually the best. That's why you have to be you have to have the smart proposal. And one thing I want to say real fast when it comes to structuring your presentation is that you want to really use templates. If you're not artistically inclined, if you're not artistically talented, don't try to reinvent the wheel. You have lots of templates that are there for you to really just take and adapt. Okay, use visual aids such as slides and graphics to enhance understanding and engagement. Next, you want to craft a captivating introduction. I mean, they always say first impression matters, right? And that's true. When it comes to a project proposal, first impression really plays an important role. So you want to have a very captivating introduction. Start your project proposal presentation with a hook that captures attention and sets the tone for the rest of your proposal. You want to clearly state the problem your project addresses and why it's important. You, at this level, and this is important, I want you to really pay attention. You want to establish a connection with your audience by highlighting the project's relevance to their interests or goals, right? If you want to hook them, you better really present something that's really interesting to them, right? So it has to be captivating. It has to be brief. Please don't really write a kilometric introduction. No, you want to really you want to go straight to the point, and you want to use a few lines, but straight to the point, potent arguments. So if you want to present a project proposal in the right way, if you want to win over, let's say, 100% of your proposals, if you want to gain credibility, if you want to win approval for your key measures, you want to clearly define the project scope. Project scope is really important because it allows you to avoid project creep down the line, but also run out of ideas or run out of resources. Okay, so you want to delineate the scope, provide a comprehensive overview of your project, detailing its scope, objectives, and anticipated outcomes. The anticipated outcomes are really quite essential in the sense that you are actually setting the right tone for your audience to know where you are at and where you're trying to go. So you want to clearly, for instance, articulate the timeline, milestones, and deliverables to give your audience a realistic understanding of what to expect. And you want to have that right off the bat. You also want to highlight the value proposition. So emphasize the unique selling points and benefits of your project. I've said this before, unique selling points, your USP, unique selling proposition. Sometimes you hear the terms USP or UVP, unique value proposition. Okay. So when I speak about your value proposition, you want to really articulate the benefits of your project. Communicate how this project addresses the identified problem and why it stands out from alternative solutions. Because remember, your solution is not the only one. It's never the only one. Don't really fool yourself thinking, I have the best solution, blah blah blah. No, you just have one solution among many. Up to you now to convince your audience that yours is the best. That's the thing, okay? Yours is the best. So, and to do this, you can use data, testimonials, or case studies to bolster your claims and build credibility. Next, you want to develop a realistic budget. This is also important because monetarily, you do not, I think I've said this before, you do not want to run out of resources. So this is why, from a budgetary point of view, you have to be really pretty solid, okay? You want to include a detailed budget that outlines the financial requirements of your projects. And here, what you want to do is you want to be as granular and quantitative as possible. Let me explain. You want to break down cost into categories and provide justification for each expense. If, for instance, you say, you know what, we're going to do this in Chicago. We're going to do this in Dallas. We're going to do this in LA. Well, why? Does the budget actually, does the budget need to be realistic based on the geography you want to really implement the project in? So if you have a realistic budget, you are demonstrating a thorough understanding of the financial implications of your project, and this also reinforces your credibility. Next, if you want to really present a project proposal that really wins the deal, you want to address potential challenges and risks, right? It's one of those things where you want to explain to your audience that you really understand the project you're working on and the problem you're trying to address. So address potential challenges and risks. So what you want to do here is that you want to really, again, I'm not asking you to reinvent the wheel. You just want to do research. You want to base your claims on research, okay? Solid facts. Don't try to make up facts, quote unquote facts. No, you want to really get facts. You want to acknowledge potential challenges and risks associated, let's say, with the project and outline mitigation challenges, mitigation strategies. So demonstrating a proactive approach to risk management reflects your preparedness and commitment to the project's success, right? It shows that you have done your research and it shows that you know what you're talking about. And you gotta really, if you want to build credibility, you have to really convey to your audience that you know what you're talking about. And showing your audience you know what you're talking about means you are engaging with your audience. Okay, engage your audience. Encourage audience interaction throughout your presentation. You want to incorporate opportunities for questions and discussions to address concerns, gather feedback, and foster a collaborative atmosphere. That's what you want from the get-go. I'm not asking you to do this like later on. No, you want to do this from the get-go. Next, you want to conclude with a strong CTA, so strong call to action. The thing is, if you, the same way the intro was really important, the outro is also quite essential. So you want to wrap up your presentation with a compelling conclusion, reinforcing the project's value and importance, okay? In other words, why should they care? Why does your audience need to care? This is why you want to clearly state the desired action or decision you seek from your audience, whether it's approval, support, or funding. Okay, that's important, especially in the long run, because if you are in a very competitive field, you have to make sure that you are talking to the right audience right off the bat. Okay. Let me give you a few top hacks here. When it comes to a project proposal presentation, if you want to really gain approval real fast, you have to understand there are a few slides that need to be there. Okay. So you have, just make sure the first slide has to be your title slide. So this actually sets the tone for your presentation. So include your project title, your name or team name, and the date. Use visually appealing graphics or images related to the project to capture attention. Slide 2, agenda. So provide an overview of the presentation structure so your audience actually can be oriented and have a roadmap of what to expect. Here you want to clearly outline the key topics and sections you'll be covering. Next, you want to, like slide 3, introduction. So you want to have a compelling introduction. Slide 4, project overview. So you just want to have a brief but comprehensive overview of the project. And from slide 5 to 8, think about the problem statement and the need, okay? You want to articulate clearly the problem your project aims to solve. That way you have a clear idea of what to expect. Slide 9, you have the solution. Slide 10 and 12, 10 to 12, you have project scope and deliverables. So here, you want to be as granular as possible. You want to detail the scope of your projects, including specific deliverables and milestones. You want to use visuals like timelines or Gantt charts to help your audience visualize the project's timeline and workflow. And you got to have that. And slide 13, you have the budget, okay? Slide 14 to 15, risks and mitigation. Slide 16, team and expertise. And slide 17, conclusion and call to action. Now, I'm not saying all project proposals should have 17 slides, but 17 is a good number in terms of balance between length and thoroughness. Okay, so that's really good, especially if you're trying to get approval real fast. Let me give you a few smart tips before I close to this conversation. Okay, you want to define your agenda. If you want to really give a project proposal presentation that really wins you, that wins you money and hearts, define your agenda. So you want to address, for instance, omitted RFP questions, contrast your plan with rivals if requested, and clarify proposal details for investors and clients. You want to tell a story. You have to tell a story. Telling the story actually is going to help you a big time, especially if you need to really win over several tools, if you will, win over several key players. So you want to tell a story also, okay? Introduce data, charts, and graphs with a narrative. Engage the audience by appealing to human nature. You want to enhance content through storytelling, okay? You want to think lean, so apply lean thinking to enhance client relationships. And also, you want to construct an eye-catching presentation in terms of visuals. That's where you want to really use templates. I'll speak about templates later on. And you want to ask questions. So avoid excessive talking during the presentation. Engage the audience by posing questions and boost your confidence and gather feedback through polls or direct inquiries. So what are the templates here? You have the top 5 project proposal templates. Number 1, you have project proposal summary PowerPoint template. You see this on the screen here. This is pretty good. This template actually provides a concise and visually appealing overview of your project proposal, okay? Next, you have project proposal presentation templates. So that's kind of cool because this gives you more flexibility also. Very good. And this is actually, conversationally, this is even better because it allows you to engage with your audience real fast. You also have project management life cycle PowerPoint template. You can see this on the screen here. This is for project management. You have a project management swim lane PowerPoint template. This is actually what you have on the screen here. You also have a business proposal deck PowerPoint template. I'm showing this to you on the screen. So it gives you more flexibility as to what works and what doesn't work. So, in closing remarks in today's conversation, I spoke to you about how to present a project proposal, okay? And I gave you the trends, the technique, the top hacks to really pay attention to, smart tips, and finally, the templates. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.